Of all the games that Total War has made, none of them get crapped on more than Empire Total War from the YouTube community doing these nonsensical reviews when they have no clue what they're talking about, from playing only maybe even 100 hours and putting their 2 cents in on whether this game is something you should purchase or not. Well, I'm going to give you the exact reason why you should purchase this game or not in this ultimate review now. So the first thing you might be asking yourself is, who the heck am I to have any kind of credibility, to have any say in a review as to why you should purchase this game in 2022? All right, so let my credibility speak for itself. Clocking in right now, as of this recording, 96:34 hours in Empire Total War. Boom, baby. Now, does that mean I know everything about Empire Total War? No, absolutely not. There's people out there that do know more than me, but I do claim to know quite a bit about this game. So let's dive into this. All right, I'm going to make this very simple for you so that anybody can get this. Is this worth it for you to purchase or not? How much is the game right now? So on Steam, you can purchase this game right now for $24.99 US. Of course, based on past experience, the Steam sale price is usually about $6.25 at 75% off. Now, me being the person I am, I'm a cheap bastard, and especially with times as they are, that's the way I would recommend you buy it. Now, this is for no other reason than the fact that I have a brain, and I know that when Steam sales happen, that this is going to go on sale. So it's obvious that you should always get something at a cheaper price if you can. So why would you buy it when it's high when you can purchase it at a lower price? So when you purchase this game, everything is included. That's all the DLC and the base game. It's all included for that price. Now, that's a heck of a deal, especially if you do get it at the 75% off. You really can't beat that price. So with all the hate out there that you get on YouTube about how Empire is crap and all that, you'd really think that nobody plays this game. So as of the recording of this video, I just took a snapshot on the community pages of each of the Total War games I purchased to show you what the actual numbers are of people actually playing the game in-game right now. So on Steam, it shows 1996 for Empire. Okay, so let's take a look at Medieval 2. 2,438. That's beating them by around 400. Pretty good. So Napoleon clocks in at about 929. Rome 2 clocks in at 3751. Rome Remastered sitting at 555. And all the fanboys' favorite, Shogun 2, sitting at 1879. That's right, below Empire. So the first thing you're going to notice probably when you jump into Empire's campaign is that the regions are different from other Total War games. The regions are going to have, outside of their capital, other little settlements or cities that you can do different things with that have an impact on how well your campaign will turn out. So you can build buildings to help your economy. You can build schools to help with your tech research. You can have buildings that will help with your religion, or you can build buildings that are going to help with your economy. And all these buildings, like I said, are going to have a direct impact on how well your campaign goes. And the fact that this is different from the other Total War games, I really think is a big benefit and positive to the game. And they took a risk with it, and it's a risk that I think does pay off if you give it a chance. So one thing you're going to hear complaints about from other YouTubers about the tech tree in Empire Total War. Now, Empire was the first Total War game to use a tech tree. So let's answer the criticisms first. The criticisms are that the only techs that matter is canister shot and fire by rank. That these are the most important techs and that the rest are just meaningless. Well, I can tell you that's the furthest thing from the truth, and I'm going to explain why. So the interesting thing about this tech tree is some of the tech that you're going to research are going to have positives and negatives when you research them. Some things, for example, might improve your artillery, but they're also going to increase the cost per turn. Some things are going to improve your tech research rate, but they're also going to give you negative public order. I think it's fair to say once you gain an understanding for the tech and the progression of this tech tree, that as you start progressing through your tech, each time you finish researching something, it's going to add a little bit of morale for you, the player, as you are improving in your campaign. I think it's also fair to say that some of the people that criticize Empire's tech tree just simply don't understand it. I think it's fair to say that the campaign map is the shining star of this game, as it is one of the most intriguing things about this game, and also one of the things that few people can complain about. Isn't that something? Seems like they can complain about anything when it comes to this game, but we finally found something that they can't. So it's clear to see once you start this game that this campaign map is rather large, that you have many different regions. It's not just your region of Europe or Japan or China, like some Total War games. This game actually spans the whole world, or most of it. Unfortunately, some is left off, but you do get trade nodes to represent some representation. So those areas would be like the coasts of Africa and the East Indies. So you don't get to conquer them with armies or manpower, but you do get to conquer them with your navy and control the trade routes that pretty much represented what the nations of Europe tried to do when they colonized these regions anyway. And did I forget to mention that this is the only Total War game that you can play as the United States? Alright, so I just finished watching a review that was somebody uploaded 2 days ago, and they were talking about government and Empire Total War. Facepalm moment. Let's go over it. So there's a couple things to know about the government, that system in Empire Total War. Number one, there's 3 different types of government that you can have. You can have a constitutional monarchy, you can have a absolute monarchy, or you can have a republic. Now I'm going to give you a quick version of what these governments are and what they mean. Number one, absolute monarchy, the new player's favorite government type. I say that because it's the government type that you can control the most. You're the absolute monarch. You can kick out your cabinet members and replace them at your discretion with who you want. Now that is a nice feature, but there is some major downsides to absolute monarchy. Now I'm not going to list them all because this is supposed to be a review, but the biggest one is as you progress your economy, as you build better buildings, your people are going to hate you. I'll come back to that in just a moment. The Republic, which is the middle grade player's favorite government type. Now, why is that? That's because with the Republic, it's easy to control your population. They're going to be happy with you. You're not going to have revolts. Your research is going to research at the highest rate. Your economy is going to grow. But as you upgrade your buildings too much, then your people start getting a little upset. Again, we'll come back to that in just a minute. Finally, constitutional monarchy. Now, this is the advanced player's favorite. Now, why is that? That's because you're able to progress your buildings to the highest level without any consequences. You're able to have higher research rate, second only to Republic. You're able to have really good public order as well. But it's really with the economy that this government type excels. So the person that did this review a couple days ago said that with the governments, there's just no events. And it's kind of blah. Well, let me tell you something. There's absolutely events that happen. They're called revolutions. This is your opportunity to change your government type if you don't like it. I guess you do have to deal with the government, don't you, Andy? So another thing with the governments is the diplomacy. So Empire's got a lot of criticism about the diplomacy that you have in the game, and I simply don't understand it. I think players get frustrated as it gets in the late game and you start expanding and somebody doesn't want to trade with you because you're sucking up all the resources and dominating the world. I wonder why they don't want to trade with you. Life's difficult. Enough said. Let's move on. So one of the biggest criticisms you'll also hear about Empire is the battle AI, and I'm not going to lie, the AI in campaign battles is pretty bad, and there's not much you can do, especially if you're doing cheesy things like overusing artillery to the point that you're just sitting back in a boring line, doing nothing, using your artillery to win your games. Yeah, you're probably not going to enjoy the game if that's what type of tactics you're going to use. Or you can go on the offensive and make it a battle of movement, which this time period really excels at, the maneuver, because you will find that this game is quite beautiful as you try to maneuver around the battlefield, and it also gives the AI a little bit of an advantage. Sometimes I don't use artillery just for the fact that artillery can be a little overpowering, or I only use 1 or 2 artillery units, and that really improves the play that you will have in the campaign. So obviously, like the rest of the Total Wars, the AI is a bit of a problem in this game, and the fact that it's pretty stupid. But can you get by, and can you make it an enjoyable experience? Yes, you can, but don't be cheesy and bring artillery and sit back at a distance. Have some balls and go after them. Get aggressive, attack. Make the game more challenging. The AI will have a little bit better advantage because they're going to be able to micro faster than you can. And it really challenged you to become a better player rather than just sitting back behind your little barricades and being a little scared to fight. Yeah, I called you out on that one. And yes, fort battles are a problem in this game. That's why typically I will siege and let them sally out to the open ground where we can have a little bit more of a fair fight. I'm still in hopes that somebody will one day mod and make a map that has barricades versus a huge fort where they're kind of like earthworks, where you have to go through river crossings and different stuff, and actually come to like earth defense works where you can really have a fun battle trying to defeat the AI, because I think they can have a little bit better of pathfinding with that type of system, because obviously they'll camp out behind walls, so maybe giving them some walls like that to camp behind would make it a little bit more enjoyable attacking the AI in that way. The bugs, oh my god, there's so many bugs in Empire, it's a buggy mess. Yeah, there is definitely bugs in Empire. Let's go ahead and talk about them. So the bugs in Empire, there are some that are just totally annoying. One of the biggest ones is when you're playing a battle, if you have a reinforcement army for the AI, sometimes they get stuck just off the battle map, as you see here, and you can't kill them unless, like you see in this case, I had reinforcements of my own coming on the map, and they got in kind of a fight, but not really, where they actually killed each other off the battlefield, but it ends up just being more of a dance than an actual fight. And you got to sit here and watch the battle progress, and if you don't kill all the units, then you will end up losing the battle. So sad as to say, is if you have that happen, it's better to quit and restart the battle. That's why it's always best to save your game before you start any battle. I say again, it's best to save your game before you start a battle, okay? Can't say that enough. Now, I can personally tell you that all the rest of the bugs, and yes, there is a few other ones, that they are all able to be worked around. Intern crashes, all this stuff. There's a lot of ways that you can work around and fix them if you know what they are. And these are documented. I've got videos on them on my channel. So, yes, there's ways to work around the bugs. The other bugs I think that they're talking about is glitches and things that you're able to exploit the game. Yes, there are those things, but you can also do it in some of the other Total War games too. So let's be real about it. But I don't have any problems finishing campaigns. Okay, so there's not going to be any issue why you can't as well. Now let's talk about one of the best things about Empire Total War. That's the naval battles. Visually stunning, really well done. The AI is really good in this, and that's because of the difficulties of sailing and the ability for the AI to micro. The AI really is fascinatingly good in naval battles, and this again shows to why I think a lot of the gameplay in land battles is so bad for the AI, is because I don't think the creators really anticipated some of the players being so sedentary in the battles. So anyways, I can't say enough about naval battles. They're just one of the best things, and explosive as well. I mean, did you see those guys go flying off the ship? I just can't help to get excited about it every time I play a battle. Okay, so let's go over the mods. Obviously, the most popular one is Dark Mod. There's Imperial Splendor, Imperial Deployer, Imperial Destroyer. There's other mods out there, like the one claiming to be Empire 2. There's ones out there that are very unknown. So there's a wide range of mods, but I can tell you, for all the mods out there that claim that they improve the AI over the vanilla version, they're just plain false. I've gone into this in other videos, and I can tell you that the AI all operates the same in any of those mods. And I can tell it from watching other people play, and I can also tell you from personal experience in playing the game. They do not improve the AI in any way. Okay, so don't be fooled by that. But does that mean that they don't improve the game? For a lot of people, I think it does improve the game, because it gives them some of the things they want to see. They want to see a bigger scale. They want to see better graphics, and Darth Mod definitely gives the game some better scale and some better graphics. It seems smoother. It doesn't really lag in some of the battles, like sometimes you get in vanilla, but there's also downsides to it as well. So you can't have pros without cons, obviously, and all the mods have their cons. But I can tell you that I still think there's hope out there that we can get a mod that the community as a whole is hungry for improvements to the game, and I think that there is a lot of people out there that are very talented putting out some good quality work modding this game. Sadly, it doesn't seem that CA is going to come back to Empire and polish up the game, because it definitely does need some polishing. I don't think the game was completely optimized. There is still a lot of things about the game that would really benefit if they did put some more time into this game. There's a lot of this game that they left out on the cutting room floor, and I've covered that in other videos as well. Some of the things that were left out of the game were family trees. Also, they have already built into the game the animations for wounded soldiers. They have animations for you to have your light infantry go into prone position, and it's on the tech tree. All this stuff is already built into the background of the game. It's just you can't access it. They also had animations for other different things that are already built in the game as well that just sadly got left out. They also had things such as hurricanes and sicknesses, plagues, and so forth that would have hit your empire in certain regions to cause you difficulties throughout the campaign. And it's just sad it got left out. There's a lot of things. Like I said, if you're interested in that, you can look on my channel. I do have a video with some of the footage. I actually covered also one of my live streams as well. It's pretty interesting stuff. The animations are really cool. Just hopefully one day Total War comes back and gives us a remaster of this and really gives this game a full-on polishing and adds a little bit more to the game, because I think it could benefit from some extra things. Now, does that mean it's not a good game on its own right now? No, it doesn't. I think it's a very playable game. There's a multiplayer community, a very small one, but there's still a multiplayer community out there that enjoys the game and plays every day. And there is definitely a large community of people that play single player campaigns. And so the numbers speak for themselves. And also you can look at the reviews. The reviews are very positive on Steam, and you can't dispute these numbers. As much as some of these YouTubers want to claim that Empire is the most hated game, no, it's just their preference, okay? Everybody has their own opinions. Some people, this time frame is not for them. Some people prefer Warhammer 2, like Legend of Total War. They used to prefer some of the older games, but now they prefer the new games for whatever reason it is. Used to have people like the Era Carthage, who was a big fan of Empire Total War and used to want to see more of it. But now you see Era only play Warhammer 2 or the new games. They have their reasons for it, but still, this was a very beloved game for a long time. But for some reason now on YouTube, you hear a lot of criticism thrown at Empire. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Some of the people need to stop being fanboys and just doing what everybody else is doing and start actually standing up and speaking some truth and actually talking about the things that they know, not just spitting out content that's misleading the people listening. And that's all I got to say on it. Maybe I'll do this in more depth later. I just threw this out here because I wanted to get this out here because it kind of pissed me off. I'm sick of seeing these reviews where these people talk about Empire like they know everything about the game, like they're some kind of credible source when they barely have any clue what they're talking about. So, yeah, I'm going to be blunt about it because it deserves some bluntness, because they're disrespecting the game that I love. So they're just going to have to deal with some respect from me. All right, so there you go. That's my opinion on Empire Total War. Should you buy it in 2022? I say yes, especially if it's on sale. Yes, definitely buy it. And honestly, why would you buy it on regular price when you know that there's always sales throughout the year? Wait, get it on sale. You can't beat the price. You're going to enjoy the game. If it's the time period you like And if you see this content and it's something that interests you, then I think you're going to like it. So stop listening to these whiny boys and just people that continue to talk what they don't know about. Peace out.